from Wentworth, England, Bernard Gallacher.
I always relished the opportunity to play. I didn't feel particularly scared of the Americans. I knew it would be tough.
Oh, very smooth and very brave.
When you play in the Ryder Cup, it means you're one of the best players in Britain and Ireland. You want to put yourself up against the best players that America would have.
The United States wins the Ryder Cup.
The way the Americans celebrated when they won, you know, I suppose that's what you do.
The Ryder Cup is once again back in America.
After the dust had settled, I thought, well, I'll have to do something special here. Everything fell into place, and it went our way.
The USA can't win, can only hope for a tie.
I wanted to just put on a good show. This pressure situation is perfect. My Ryder Cup journey started in '69 as a 20-year-old player. Eric Brown was the captain. He came from Bathgate Golf Club, where I was born. So everybody in Bathgate, youngsters, me, 10, 11, 12-year-old, wanted to follow in Eric's footsteps and become a Ryder Cup player. And we're just coming off the back of a horrendous defeat in 1967. So at that time, I was the youngest player at 20 ever to play in the Ryder Cup. But, you know, I was confident. Eric picked me. Eric was my hero. And if Eric says I'm good enough to be in the Ryder Cup, I'm good enough to play.
And there it is. What a wonderful putt.
Sure enough, it went down to the last match. Tony Jacklin playing Jack Nicklaus basically for the Ryder Cup. I remember sitting by the green at Royal Birkdale wondering how this was going to finish, and I'm hoping that Tony would win the match. But as it turned out, Tony was given a 2-foot putt in the last green.
Anguish, Jacklin.
And I could feel for Tony, and when Jack bent down and picked up his ball, it was a huge sigh of relief. And of course, it's gone down as one of the great sporting gestures of all time, and quite rightly too.
Well done indeed. There won't be a single man here who wanted him to miss it.
They have their match, and the two countries have the Ryder Cup.
When you're 20, 21, 22-year-old, you know, you don't really have a lot of nerves.
Gallacher with a new putter. His old favourite was stolen last night. Let's see if the new one brings him a bit of luck. What a blow.
I think in the 70s, although we were losing a lot of matches, a lot of the matches were quite nip and tuck, even though the overall result was a loss.
Oh, very smooth and very brave. And Bernard Gallacher gets the mighty scalp of Jack Nicklaus.
In the 80s, you could see that we were getting closer. Europeans were on the side. By the time Tony Jacklin took over the captaincy in 1983, I felt very confident that we would win, even though it was in America.
Where is it? Is it? You make it or not? The handshake, and it's all over. Tom Watson has scored the deciding point to win the Ryder Cup for the United States of America.
It was disappointing as a team to lose all the time, but I felt my points total against a very strong American team over those years was quite reasonable. So from a personal point of view, obviously I could have done better, but maybe not a lot better.
Now it's time for the 1991 Ryder Cup to begin.
91, I wouldn't say I was surprised, but at the same time I was happy to accept the captaincy. It's a good team. Got some great players. Seve's still around. Olazabalo's going strong. Nick Faldo's #2 in the world. Ian Woosnam's #1 in the world. Colin Montgomery's come along for the first time. So it's a good time to be captain. And I was confident that we could win in America and carry on Tony's legacy.
The greatest pressure cooker in golf.
Kiwa Island was a tough project to win that, mainly because the Americans, they were desperate to get something out of that match. They were desperate to win. If you look back in 1991, the Americans hadn't won the Ryder Cup since 1983. So there was It was desperation.
The United States wins the Ryder Cup.
It wasn't the end of the world. You know, we just put our clubs away and, you know, look forward to the next match and do it the next time.
The Ryder Cup is once again back in America.
I never really felt the pressure in 1993 to win. I thought we had a really good chance of winning. We had a really good team. But we lost in the singles.
A fitting end.
And eventually we lost by a point and a half or something. So it was a disappointment, yeah, but you know, that's sport. And you've just got to pick yourself up and dust yourself down and get on with it.
And now it's time to meet the members of the teams of the 31st Ryder Cup matches. Please welcome a gentleman who has been making this his third appearance as the European Ryder Cup team captain from Wentworth, England, Bernard Gallacher.
I didn't particularly want to be the captain the third time. Maybe I was a liability to the team, who knows? But one of the top players wrote a letter to me and said, I hope you'll accept the captaincy for the next one. He said, it's going to be a difficult job to win in America, but you've done it before, you know what it's like, and I feel that with us behind you, we can win it. So I said, okay, thanks. So as it turned out, it gave me a chance in a way to redeem myself. The first couple of days was a bit even.
There you go, Nick. Well done.
I remember on the Saturday afternoon that Nick Faldo and Bernard Gallacher were up against Lauren Roberts and Corey Pavin. And I think we were all square playing the last, and Corey Pavin was really dangerous around the green, even with this very difficult chip. But Lauren Roberts' putt, which was stone dead, gave him the chance to have a free chip. And of course, he chipped it in. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what is this Ryder Cup all about? And then Lanny Watkins, I can see Lanny by the side of the green, jumping up and down and hollering. They've now gone 2 points ahead. And I remember saying to my wife, who was sitting next to us, I said, look, they're having their celebrations tonight. We'll have ours tomorrow night. And that's the way it worked out.
Well, let's look at the 12 singles matches today. You could have picked 10 guys, and they're all great players.
Before I spoke to the team, we got the pairings for the singles. And I said, I like the draw. You know, we got to win it. We're 2 points behind, but I like to draw.
Mark James.
Mark, James and Howard Clark got us off to a great start. They won their matches against good players. Colin beat Ben Crenshaw. David Guilford. I mean, David Guilford played Brad Faxon. And he's had a great week, David Guilford.
Wow. They call him the silent assassin in England.
He's an underrated player, David. He's down the middle, he's great. And he ends up having to hold this putt to beat Brad Faxon across the green from about 10 feet, and he knocks it in.
Unflappable. David Guilford. That's impressive, Roger.
And then, of course, it gets down to Nick Faldo's game against Curtis Strange. And I thought to myself, if I had to pick one player in the world to hold your putt for the Ryder Cup, it'd be Nick Faldo.
Every TV in Europe's tuned to this right now.
And of course, they hold it, you know. Well, I felt sorry for Philip Walton, to be honest, because even though Nick Faldo hold that putt, And I said to Nick Faldo, you've just won us the Ryder Cup when you hold that putt. But we hadn't, because it meant we couldn't lose.
Nick Faldo has assured the fact that the USA can't win, can only hope for a tie, and a tie would retain the cup.
We still have to beat them to take it back on Concord with us. Philip Walton is playing in the second last match, and he's playing Jay Haas, a formidable player. And he's having a great day, Philip Walton.
Here we go, Philip Walton.
Philip's probably the calmest guy there, to be honest. And he hacks it out this rough, and it just makes the front of the green.
Boy, that was just so very, very close to getting hung up in the rough, but that should do it.
It runs up a little bit. Greens are so fast. And I guess from 12 feet, he just needs to two-putt.
For Europe.
Perfect. It's conceded. Europe with a major upset at Oak Hill today.
I was on my way to carry Philip off the green. It's so funny, I got a bit carried away, to be honest.
Unbelievable.
Well, it was certainly a job done, never going to do it again. It all fell into place. It fell into place in '95 the way it didn't fall into place for me in the previous two.
The last 3 days of competition were outstanding.
Let me help you through this, Lenny.
Been there, done that.
Because I know how you feel.
That's what's really made the Ryder Cup what it is today. These close matches against the best players in the world. And, you know, it's great that we've played a part in it.
That little golfer on top means so much. Pride, flag, country, and the game of golf.
To watch another Ryder Cup video, click here and subscribe here.